At the University of Louisville, a cross-campus collaboration to study social justice has led to a new focus for teachers in training. I learned more about that when I sat down with 3 professors involved with the program.
Teacher preparation is very complicated.
Part of ensuring that every child gets a good education requires removing roadblocks along the way, like childhood trauma.
We know that trauma is everywhere.
Parents getting divorced can be very traumatic. For another child, it might not be. For another child growing up in an impoverished situation, or being in a community where there's a lot of violence, or in a household where there's violence.
SHANTEL CROSBY is an associate professor at U of L's School of Social Work, now collaborating with the School of Education, teaching future teachers how to recognize trauma and what to do about it.
We know a lot more about the impact of trauma now than we ever have. I think we knew that there were these really difficult and challenging social and interpersonal issues that young folks were dealing with. We saw them in our schools, we knew that they were happening, but I don't think we understood the physiological, the neurological, the physical, cognitive, social, the way that it impacts all of these different domains of functioning.
Trauma can impact academic performance as well as behavior performance.
U of L's Penny Howe is a professor in residence working on location at Westport Middle School.
When we have our teacher candidates really focus maybe on an incident and think about it through a trauma lens, that they're noticing things like the importance of relationships in the classroom and how that impacts how students might respond to them.
To make connections, to do self-regulation.
Associate Professor SHELLEY tells me teaching future teachers has become a science.
So that we're using that brain science and bringing it into our education science.
Actually thinking through ways to address the trauma you're seeing rather than being punitive or just punishing behaviors that you're seeing. And then actively working against re-traumatizing.
There are structures in place, certainly that we can borrow from social work, to help us mitigate that and be effective teachers.
A curriculum to train teacher candidates on how to be trauma-informed in the classroom.
The program is part of a social justice research project at U of L that's already affecting change in local schools.
Really wanted to focus on promoting social justice research projects between faculty members across disciplines and with community members.
To look at how can we differentiate the learning and the experiences within the classroom that are flexible, that allow kids to express who they are in ways that still meet the standard. The school districts are working to do this, and our goal is to get this into teacher prep before they get there.
So integrating all that together is part of how we prepare the teachers to be ready to step into that system of care.